Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today we will discuss important Node.js questions that are normally asked in the interview. And the main thing is you need to explain, you must understand the basics of Node.js. So normally the first question is like, what is Node.js? And since it is a new technology, it is built on JavaScript. So how it is different from React.js, how it is different from AngularJS. So the first thing is like Node.js, it runs on server side. So it's not a client side because normally all the JavaScript, it runs on the browser side. But the main idea of implementing a Node.js is it's a powerful JavaScript framework. It is developed on Chrome V8 JavaScript engine, and the main idea was that to use the same JavaScript that we were using for client side programming, we can use the same for the server side also. And the good part is it compiles the JavaScript directly into the native machine code. So all the data intensive work, all the data intensive tasks that you need to create, for that we use Node.js. So Node.js is used for creating APIs that can fetch data from database, and then it can transfer data in JSON format to the front end. So again, front end is also in JavaScript. Node.js is also working on with JavaScript, but the way Node.js runs, it runs on server, while the other it runs on client side. Again, another question that is asked is what is event loop? So the event loop is the main idea behind Node.js, and it supports all the asynchronous callbacks. So it also follows the publish and subscribe. So there are number of events. So using this event loop, it makes sure that all the events are taken care. So they are event emitters and they are event handlers, and all those they are executed in publish or subscribe pattern. You must be knowing that we have number of pub sub operation through which, since it is asynchronous, so the request is put into the publish subscribe method, and then it doesn't stop any of the execution. And once we have the result, we implement using this asynchronous callback. Then the other question for Node.js is single threaded model. So how this Node.js works in a single threaded model? Normally all other language like Java, .NET, they are multi-threaded. But Node.js is the only language. It is scalable and it is single thread to make sure that it is highly scalable and all your requests are being processed within time. In case of multi-threaded, the moment the thread limit reaches to a level, then there needs to be more resource to execute the other requests. So if there is any request and it needs to be processed, but the limit of thread for that particular programming language, it reaches to the limit, now it has to either allocate new threads or this particular request has to stop. But in case of Node.js, since it is a single thread model, it doesn't. And second thing is it is asynchronous. So it puts the request, move to the new request, then it moves to the new request. The moment it gets the processing for the first request, it's again move. So it is non-blocking, it never blocks. It is one single thread that is executing. That is why it is scalable. So basically the main idea behind Node.js is it is very good for data intensive tasks. Mainly we used it for creating APIs where we have to fetch and send lot of data. So we use this Node.js to create REST API, representation state transfer, where we are transferring the state and we get that particular part of data. Suppose we want to create a web application. So if we want to get the list of products. So only that particular data we send a request using REST API, and then we are able to fetch that data using either React or Angular. Using, again, we have different modules, like we can use Axios, we can use Fetch. Again, these are also working in asynchronous model, in which like we have a callback. So once the request is being processed, we use the callback promise function, and then we show that data from the API. So for making, normally Node.js, it is secure, and we use it to implement API. So basically these are the few different questions, like event loop, what is Node.js, why it is single threaded. So these are the questions that you need to understand whenever you are going for any Node.js interview. We will be discussing more questions in our coming videos. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and thanks for watching this video.